Howdy team! In this video we're going to talk about how you can make your business viable when you first go self-employed, because it's hard, it's scary, it's daunting, it's a worrying prospect. You've come from an employed position or something that you know so well to go into a job. How do you get customers? How do you earn an income? How do you make that business viable to give yourself an opportunity to make money and to support your family, to do the things that you love with who you love? So when it comes to going self-employed, you know, if I think back to when I first started in 2006, I actually went self-employed in November. And it was about a month after I bought my first flat, right at the peak of property prices as well. In the good old days, I got 100% mortgage. And people called me crazy. People called me mental because I'd committed to paying a mortgage. I'd committed to new bills, new lifestyle, living on my own, and then decided to go and break self-employment. Now, the reason why is because I knew that I could buy leads and inquiries. So I knew that I could buy, I borrowed £2,500 off my dad, and I knew that if I spent £2,500, I'd be able to get leads at £15 each. I knew what the conversion ratio was because during 2006, 2005 time, I'd actually been building a mortgage brokerage for somebody else with another lady and the owner up to £100,000 a month, and I was sales and compliance manager, managing a team of advisors. Now, the difficulty when you first go self-employed, if we take away that aspect, in the November time, not many people are inquiring about mortgages. Not many people are inquiring about life insurance. It's a seasonal thing. And at that point in time, it's all about Christmas. So what did I do? And what can you do as soon as you go self-employed? Because I didn't have social media back in 2006. Well, the first thing I did was pick up my mobile phone and I rang everybody in my address book to say, hey, just want to let you know, I've gone self-employed. Haven't spoke to you in ages. Gave me an opportunity to reconnect with some old friends, an opportunity to say hello to some people who I hadn't spoken to for a long time. And, some of them, you maybe just delete them out of your phone and decide not to. But you've got an opportunity with everybody that's in your address book to just turn around and say, hey, how's it going? What you been up to? How's your year been? How's life? How's COVID? Whatever it might well have been. And just have conversations. Build relationships. It's not about cold calling and pitching straight off of the bat. But when someone says, hey, what have you been up to? Why are you calling? Hey, look, I've just been going through my phone book and I wanted to reconnect with some good people. It's been ages since we last spoke. What you been up to? They're going to say what you've been up to. Hey, well, I've been doing this over the course of the last 12 months. I'm now a fully qualified mortgage and protection advisor. I'm self-employed. Have you reviewed your mortgage lately, whatever it might well be, and just see how the conversation flies. Equally, you're going to have an email list of people within your Google, within your Gmail, your Outlook, your Hotmail, whatever account you're using, and you've got the opportunity to write a nice little email and send that out. You will be surprised how much that has a big impact, because that is going to give you the opportunity straight away to be able to get more results. Now, I think also when you go self-employed, looking to become a mortgage advisor, your emphasis is on the mortgage. But maybe when you're starting out, you don't necessarily have the confidence and the knowledge, so you don't necessarily charge a fee straight from the off. Well, in actual fact, what you could do is you could focus on the life insurance, the critical illness and income protection, because that could pay you within 1 week, 2 weeks, depending on the insurer, if they're fit, well and medically good. If they've got medical conditions, then they might mean that they write off to the doctor, which means it will take roughly 60 to 90 days, depending on the doctor, to get paid, much like a mortgage. And this is the thing and the mistake that so many mortgage advisors make. You go all in on the mortgage. You then have to wait 3 months in order to be able to get any money. That's why it's difficult. What you need is you need to have the confidence either to charge a fee straight from the off so that you can actually earn some money immediately, or you start focusing on actually learning the protection. Now, every insurer has webinars, has trainings, has BDMs who can talk you through the products. And they have the ability to be able to give you the understanding that you need. And if you speak to them, they'll probably be able to coach you in terms of making a recommendation, as well as looking at your network, your DA, your AR, whoever is your business that you're trading under. They will be able to support you. I think it's actually better to focus on the protection and the insurance side before you start focusing on the mortgage. Now, you may be thinking, whoa, hang on a minute, you've just blown my mind because you are telling me to do something that wasn't even on my radar. But in order to be able to secure your income and give you confidence as a self-employed individual, I can tell you almost every mortgage advisor when they start out will drop the protection conversation. For the hours of research that mortgage takes, they will not prioritize it as much. People need a mortgage. People want a mortgage. You advise a client on protection, but they don't want it even though they need it. Which is why I feel that if you're a mortgage advisor, you're just an order taker. What's your details? What's your circumstances? This is the best lender for you. Do you like me enough to use me? Do you want me to do a good enough job? It's really relatively simple. But for protection, it's here's your circumstances, here's who you are as an individual, and here's what I recommend to make sure that you can get to safeguard the future of your family. But what you also don't realize if you're starting out is that protection, life insurance, critical illness, income protection, health insurance can make up 60% of your income, and it pays a hell of a lot quicker. The protection gap in the UK is massive, and there is such a huge opportunity for every single person that you meet to cover them for protection. So I actually speak to my advisors and I train them on the basis of making sure that when they have the conversation about the mortgage, irrespective of whether the client goes ahead with the mortgage at any point in the future, protection is a priority. Financial foundations. If you can't get a mortgage now and you're employed or you're self-employed, and your employer or being self-employed, you have no protection over your income, and something like you go and catch COVID, or you go and break your arm and you're a plasterer, you go and do something that has a massive impact, you have a car accident, whatever it might well be, your ability to be able to get a mortgage in 3, 6, 9, 12, 18 months is out the window. Because if you can't pay your bills or your living expenses, all of a sudden, your credit report goes to shit. Your credit report down the pan, your credit score gone, your ability to get a better interest rate, to get the lowest interest rate, to pay least amount for your mortgage, gone. So in terms of marketing yourself and giving yourself that ability to safeguard your own future and cover your own income, you need to sit down and you need to work out what is the exact amount that you need to live on every single month. And then you need to work extremely hard in order to be able to find it. And you need to ask every client for referrals. In the early days, testimonials aren't important. Referrals are more important. And it's prioritizing those referrals. It's having conversations. And this is the beauty about the life insurance and the protection side. When you turn around and say, hey, do you know anybody else who's got a mortgage and do you think they're paying the best rate? And can you give me their number? It's not something that you can control over when that person goes ahead. It's going to be based on the children. It's going to be based on the children changing schools, It's going to be based on the early repayment penalty date. It's going to be based on whether it's summer holidays, whatever it might well be. But if you do a good job in explaining somebody's protection, in making sure that they understand the protection that they need, what they need to cover themselves against, what happens in the event of this, what if you couldn't go to work tomorrow? What if you were to die? What if you were to suffer a critical illness? How would you survive? Describe to me what life would be like. Tell me what you would do in this scenario. Explain to me how you would get through life knowing that you didn't cover your family. How would that make you feel? This sort of stuff is something that when you do a good job for somebody, when you raise their awareness about their own personal situation and what life looks like in the future, then actually what's going to happen is they're going to be able to refer somebody to you immediately. So step number 1 is call your phone book. Step number 2 is email everybody in your email inbox. And that tell me, explain to me, describe to me is called TED, correct? It is tell me, explain to me, describe to me. It's a great sales method. It's one that I've used since I got trained at the Woolwich back in 2003. You know, it's a corporate kind of old school, but it does work in terms of the conversations. The secondary thing, which I didn't have when I went self-employed in 2006, social media. Oh my goodness, doesn't matter how many friends you got. Doesn't matter if you've never really used it. Starting to post 3 times a day of valuable content. A little bit about you, a little bit about what you're up to, what you're learning, the case that you're working on. All of that kind of stuff is absolutely key to be able to raise awareness and just to have people seeing you ever present. That's not even going into the degree of using Facebook groups in your local area, which can be an absolute goldmine when it comes to generating inquiry and generating leads locally to you. Social media can be worldwide, it can be UK-wide, it can be wherever you are in the world. You can actually manage to attract clients. You just have to be consistent at it. The thing that I often see within my mentees is they do social media for 3 months. They start to get results and then they get really busy with the mortgage and protection side, or they drop the protection side because they're focusing too much on the mortgage. And then they go through dealing with all the inquiries that they've managed to generate. And 3 months later, they've got no leads because they stopped what made them busy in the first place. You need to be consistent. So you start at 1 post a day, 2 posts a day, 3 posts a day. You engage with other people on their channels and on their platforms. I didn't have this ability. I've gone from when I got back to, so I bought leads from 2006 till 2015. I then realised that I built a business that I hated in life insurance, critical illness and income protection, which is why I'm so passionate about it. I realised that I had no customer loyalty. I didn't do any marketing. It's my biggest mistake in business. And when I downsized my almost 7-figure insurance brokerage to start all over again in mortgage brokering in 2016 with a niche of self-employed, I realised that I had to do things differently, and I started to produce video. I started to put content out online, started to answer common questions that clients had. I started to post on my profile consistently. I then started to show up in Facebook groups, then started to use LinkedIn and Instagram. Now, fast forward to this point in time, we're generating easily over 150 leads a month with virtually no advertising spend. And my team has grown substantially and continues to grow. And at our latest team meeting, the whole team was saying, you know, you're the marketer, Gary. You're the face of the brand. You're the face of the business. Just keep doing what you're doing and we will manage the leads as they come into the business. Now, you might have a fear that actually, depending on if you've already been going for a long period of time, but I can't give leads away. People want to speak to me. That is a scarcity mindset. If you have made the recommendation across to your team and you have personally trained your experts, then your clients and customers and leads and prospects will go across, providing they understand what is going on and the introduction that you're having. So to summarize this off for you, the first thing you need to do is ring all of your contacts when you go self-employed. Re-engage, get some relationships going, talk to some people. The second thing that you need to do is send an email to all of your contacts. The third thing that you need to do is start posting consistently on your social media profile. Can't just be all about business. You need to share a little bit about yourself. People like you will like you. People will buy into who you are, not what you do. They'll buy into why you do it, not how you do it. There's a great book by Simon Sinek that talks about that. And you need to make sure that you are leveraging the opportunity to build relationships with people. You know, when you think back to 2006 and when you look at the ability to pick the phone up or send an email, it becomes about building a relationship, talking to people. Online social media is exactly the same. If you imagine walking up to somebody consistently or a group of people and going, hey, I'm a mortgage broker, do you want to get a mortgage? Hey, I sell life insurance, do you want to buy life insurance? They will switch off, they will unfollow you, they will not deal with it. So you need to provide value, you need to lead with information, you need to help other people, you need to ask questions, engage, have a conversation. And trust me, it's like planting a seed and waiting for the tree to grow. Some of you will be absolutely outstanding at producing content and get results within 24 hours. Others of you will need to learn and you will need to develop skills. But I'm a firm believer in, particularly when you're starting out, utilizing all the free and low cost channels before you start paying for ads. I started my organic social media in 2016. I didn't start paying for any social media until 2020. So that was almost 4.5, 5 years of just consistently posting, and had huge growth and huge customer loyalty and personal profile and understanding online. And you can do it too. I tell you this because I look at the fitness industry as a reference point. There are so many people in fitness, so many people talking different games, specialisms, niches, and it's exactly the same in the mortgage industry. It's exactly the same in the protection industry. You just have to make a start. So if you've liked this video, then let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Ask me any questions that you might have in relation to, how you can start out generating leads, inquiries, and sales. Treat this as a long game, not a short game. Work out how much money you need on a monthly basis to survive. £1,000, £2,000, £3,000, whatever it might well be. Then backwork that in relation to a fee that you could charge. Work on the principle of £350 per 100 grand that you can borrow from a mortgage lender. Work on the principle of £200 for every £10 of life insurance that you sell. And then don't bitch, don't moan, don't complain. Work your freaking nuts off to make it happen. And just ring everybody, speak to everybody, get to local networking events, build relationships, and that will pay dividends over time. So I hope this inspires you. I hope this gives you some thought processes. I hope that you take action off of the back of this, because action is the only thing that is going to get you results. I'm here to help and support in any which way I can. So make sure that you engage, ask questions, comment in, and rate, review, subscribe wherever you are hearing or seeing this. Have a fantastic day. And remember, now is the time to become pro.